Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 5 with some more multiplayer races. For this series, we are using B-Class cars from the 1970s. The rules being they had to be two-wheel drive and they weren't allowed to have driveline swaps. I have gone for massive tyres. That is basically my approach. I just go for I'll say as big a tyre as I can get. We've got the Holden Monaro, a car that I haven't really used very much. The Tirana is very, very good, which is why it's kind of discouraged from using because it's just so fast in this game in general. And that's normally the one I've ended up using in previous builds. I've not really ever done much with the Monaro. Either in this or in previous games, even like Horizon 4, for example. I've not really done much with the Monaro. I love my muscle cars and Australian muscle cars and all that, so I'll see how it goes. The theory is simple. Massive tyres are going to be quite good. Massive tyres, a decent amount of power. It's not as heavy as some of the American cars, although I do know the Super B is pretty good to drive, surprisingly. The Super B is surprisingly light for the size of car. Like, physical size, the Super B is huge, but it is surprisingly light. I'm not the only one that's gone for a Monaro. By the looks of it. God damn it, I thought I'd try something different, and everyone's had the same idea. Why is it though? I'm actually very surprised Longbow isn't in a Corvette, because that's normally the Longbow way. If a Corvette's an option, Longbow's in a Corvette. So I guess we've got a bunch of Monaros to see how it's going to fare. Now, there are a bunch of them, however, there could well be some different builds. I have got off-road race tyres on mine, but as you can see, I've also got aero. So it's a strange mix. What I hope is, essentially, that I will have enough grip on the tarmac stuff and still be quite good off-road. Or I might be too slow on all of the straights on the tarmac stuff and not be good at... I don't know. Sometimes you get these kind of weird middle-of-the-road cars, and this could be one of those, or it could be really good. I am not sure. What I do think is we are nice and composed. We are definitely nice and composed. We are down on straight line speed compared to some of these, I say, potential rivals and everything. So, oh dear, there's a lot of kind of understeer going on. I know that the Ford, I do like the GT70. Again, there are kind of a few very tempting options to go for in this category, and I've gone for the one that I don't normally go for here. We are flat through to one. The Emerald Circuit, it is quite a fast circuit here. So yeah, we're not likely to be amazingly... Well, I say we're not likely to be amazingly strong. We do clearly have a lack of a bit of straight line speed. I'm hoping if we can stay close enough to these cars here, it'll be a good sign for when we get to perhaps twistier circuits and potentially some off-roady stuff. I mean, we do have a huge amount of grip through here. We can really chuck the car into these corners and carry a lot of speed, which is nice. I mean, it's positive going forward. It is quite funny that up ahead of me there is a tiny Porsche and an even tinier Lotus, and it's the big Holden that is the fastest through the corners. I do quite like that. Now, admittedly, we are getting outrun by said cars in a straight line. We've just built it backwards, which is par for the course when it comes to me. I had kind of hoped that 300 and something odd horsepower of Gossing this was going to be enough. The aero, I know, does really limit top speed. It does seem, I mean, this thing is limited to about 140 mile an hour top end. I mean, obviously these is very, very draggy aero that we've got. But it's working in terms of the handling. B-Class I don't normally go aero, so I was trying something a little bit different with this to see. And I mean, it is a typical fail race. Many grips and little handling. Sorry, many grips and little speed. That's the one. Many grips and little handling. God knows what I'm on about. I might be slightly mad. Actually, come on, we all knew I'm slightly mad. Sadly, in this race, we are just ever so slowly losing touch to the little lightweight things up ahead. I mean, the good news is we're obviously clearly quite fast for the Monaro class. In fact, even for the Holden class of this race, we're doing quite well. We've ditched the rest of the field, which the GT70 is currently leading that little battle. Oh no, take it back. Longbow's got their Monaro into 4th. Yeah, I mean, the speed I can take through this section does hopefully bode well for future tracks. Just our lack of top speed is a little bit too pronounced for us to be good everywhere else. It is one of those annoying races where we are sat just tantalizingly watching everything go on, but we are, you know, half a second a lap, 3/4 of a second a lap, a little bit too slow to do anything, and the Porsche's found some pace. The Lotus is kind of just about staying where it is, ever so slightly edging away. The little Porsche is just a bit too quick for me here. And that's about it. That's about all I can say for the for this track. It's just, sometimes we get this, and you know, I'm hoping the rest of these races don't go this way. Sometimes out your first race, this is a little bit of a different, perhaps, circuit to some, but we'll come to different strengths and weaknesses of the cars. You hope that you don't get all the races like this. It is very spread out, actually, up here. We will dive under brakes into the hotel corners, because, yeah, otherwise it's going to be a very lonely day for me. Hopefully we'll come good off-road. I don't know what these two ahead are running in terms of tyres. They probably off-road race. But, you know, I could be wrong here. We could have all sorts of different... Could be some vintage race tyres, maybe? You might brave it. We are across the line. And, I mean, that is... some cats have gone full speed into my office. But that's kind of as good as I can get there, really. Yeah, I mean, lap time, me and Longbow very similar. Quicker than the GT70 and the Super B. And, yeah, can't match the top two. Yeah, as expected. We're a little bit down on the Porsche. We're half a second off the Elan. It's kind of close enough to sort of sit and watch it. Okay, well, first race. Actually, let's see what tyres. Tyres is going to be an interesting one. Let's go and see. Come on, game. I don't know why there was a car going the wrong way down the start-finish line as well at that point. Okay, off-road race for all. Well, 'tis a start. We are heading off-road for our next race. Well, partly off-road anyway. I'm a long way back. That's not really where I wanted to be. Not, especially not when the Porsche is second. Longbow's on pole, and the Elan's also towards the front. Cars are expected to be, I say, competing with. The GT70 could be fast here. Of course, the Porsche and the GT70 are mid-engine. No, the Porsche rear engine. Who's the 914 mid? I don't know. It's got the engine in the better place for this. It'll have traction. Although I don't know whether that's going to be enough to overcome the 345 rear tyres that I have. And probably the Super B has. And, well, the Porsche has Porsche's also got wide tyres. Probably not quite as big as this. However, they are still going to be, yeah, fairly hefty. And we know my car is good in the twisty stuff. And that is just down to tyre size. That's just tyre width. The fronts are pretty big as well. Combine that with aero, and yeah, we've got good grip in the twisty stuff. However, I've got a lot of cars to overtake to get to my main rival, and once I do get there, yeah, it might not be so easy. I mean, we got helped past in all of that, was it? There was some bumping. We just kind of try and make the most of everything that we can. Oh god, don't turn in too soon. We almost got caught out on a bump there and got spat into the corner a little bit too early. This is a very big gaggle of cars. That, I mean, you know, we want to get past it as quickly as possible here. I do not want to get stuck in the fight. The GT70, you can't have a push of war against a Monaro here. You will lose that. Oh, that got street furnitured. We've actually... This is working in terms of the try and get through the traffic as quick as possible. The Corvette will have some big tyres. We are still there. It's still alongside. It'll be to the inside into this next corner. We will slide the car up in front. Oh, the GT70's caught very sideways. That's not what you need. I mean, I don't think we could have realistically hoped for a much better first lap. The problem is just the amount of time lost to the leaders, even if we are quicker, which is a big if. It's huge. So we're going to have to try and reel them in. Whether we can get on the podium from here, I don't know. Maybe the Elan might struggle off-road. The very, very small tires. I mean, it is very light, which is good, but it might struggle off-road. Having said that, I overshot that corner by a long way. and any gains we were going to make this lap, I think, are going to go away. I have a feeling it's probably going to be a bit like the Emerald Circuit. We're kind of just going to sit here in the watching position, and that's kind of it. But it's kind of what's going on a little bit with everybody up at the front. We've got these 4 that are very quick, and yeah, we're not really sort of gaining. We're not sort of losing time as such. That was asking a lot of the Monaro. Yeah, I don't really have much more we can do. We are well clear of the rest of the pack. The Tirana is coming as well. GT70 still in the midst of all of the battles back there. The Elan is certainly keeping pace with the other Monaro. I suspect Longbows then is fairly similarly built to mine. I mean, we're doing very similar lap times at the Emerald Circuit. By the looks of it, we're doing pretty similar ones here. So, yeah. Where we might come good is a full dirt circuit. So when we do these, there tends to be one off-road that's kind of a half and half, and one that's a full dirt, with the circuits that we have to play with. And the chances are, I guess, the Monaras might come good at the full dirt track. Here, the other 2 can make up their lap time on the tarmac, perhaps. I imagine we're a little bit better on the dirt. Not a crazy amount, but a little bit. And it's just this acceleration zone where the Porsche and Lotus are fast enough. We will try and carry as much speed as I dare through that one. I mean, like maybe we're a tenth faster or a couple of tenths. It's just not enough to overcome that gap. We've had a good lap this time around. If anything, we are a smidge closer. It's only a little bit, but it is a bit closer here. When we saw the leader for the first time, if all 4 of us were really close together on track, I think we'd have a really fun battle. But as it is, when there's only maybe a few tenths a lap in it, after that initial kind of spread, it's just nothing we can do. We have completely vanished from the rest of the pack here. I'm doing everything I can. I've got to try and keep it neat and tidy in the Monaro here. Throw it across the jumps. Too much understeer though. I want to carry speed through there. Again, almost got caught out on the way down the hill, and I think we're a little bit ragged, just trying a bit too hard on this final lap of the race. The Lotus gets a little bit uncomfortable in a couple of places, but it's still certainly more than good enough here to not really lose all that much. We're going to be brave. If anything, we're probably through there where I'm making the most time up on the Lotus, which is funny, but yeah, we're definitely very quick through that chicane either. I'm being brave. The Lotus might not be the easiest thing in the world to drive either, let's not forget that. This is very big tyres in a relatively planted car. The Lotus is probably going to be a lot twitchier. I'll be interested to see the lap times, because I think it's going to be very close. Crossed the line in 4th, and it was a little bit of a dull race in some ways, but I do suspect the lap times are close there. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much what I expected. The Porsche a little bit faster. We were closer there, though. Monaro and Elan pretty much identical, with me a few tenths faster, but again, pretty much the same. And we're miles quicker than the rest of the pack. We are off to the Garden Circuit for our next race. Oh, really game. Well, I got Lomba. 2 Monaros are at the back. I mean, this should be a good it should be a good track for me, in theory. We know my car's got some pretty good corner speed. This is a fairly good test of handling. I like the track very much as well, which should help. I hope if we can get a good start. The problem is, if we can get a good start, sure, we might get a few places, but the Elan's second with the 914 also considerably. Longbow's got the same paint as mine as well. Damn it, I thought I really was not as unique as I expected to be in all of this. Bloody hell. Right, let's see what we can do with the Monaro. I think the 914 may have dropped to the back of the field for a bit more of a challenge. Oh, that's an awful time to come out of ghost mode. I knew it was coming out eventually. I was just hoping I could have snuck through without losing too much time. However, not quite the case. We are past the Tirana. Now, can we... This is going to be a bit of a risky manoeuvre. Let's try to get to the inside of the Corvette. Unfortunately, Corvette, not too bad under brakes, was able to cover that one. Right. Where are we going to pass? Okay, I mean, this is the bit that does get a little difficult. This section here is probably where I'm going to be very quick. However, difficulty is you can't really pass through there. You might be able to pass on the exit, especially if the Corvette bumps the wall. We can just carry more speed on the way down to turn 1, and we are through. It's a bit of a tight line, which is a little bit awkward through there. You just struggle to carry speed, but we are out the other side. Again, I think it's going to be too much fighting in traffic for us. We will have a little bit of a lift all the way through there. Again, I guess I always going to run into the back of the Monaro ahead. I'm carrying a lot more quarter speed than it. Can we go around the outside here? No, I don't. It would have given that. So there would have been space on the outside. I wasn't sure if it was going to understeer wide or anything. So I went for the safer option, try and go for a cutback. But we are just losing time. So I'm going to guess that is not on off-road race tyres. I don't know what tyres it's on, but it's clearly got a lot more straight line speed than me, and not got the grip through these corners. Again, we're carrying a lot of... I'm carrying so much momentum that I just can't use because there's a car in front of me. Can we have a look into here? Not quite. It's defending pretty well, actually. It's making it a little bit awkward for me. I've got a lot of speed that I just can't use because I can't quite get into a position to make a pass. It might happen on the exit here. We will just fire it to the inside, and that'll be us up to third. It had to happen there, otherwise we're going to lose another half a lap stuck behind it. So yeah, let's go chasing off after Speed Beast with that Super B. Whether we can match the Elan for pace now is too late. I mean, it was kind of too late from the start when we were so far back. If we can get Speed Beast, though, I think it would be a pretty good overall race, really, all things considered. Through this final quarter chicane we go, with as much speed as I dare. The Porsche has also cut its way up into 4th place now. Let's see what we can do. I mean, this lap around, we will actually get a little bit of a taste of just what the Monaro is capable of. This is the first lap we've really been able to go for it, and it might end up... they might end up in the wall that is a Super B anyway, because we are definitely catching it quickly here. It's just not going to be able to do anything this lap around. We're too far back, and I'm a little bit wide on my own there, which is unfortunate. Porsche is almost out into the wall. I think the 914 is a little faster than I am. I think it's just got the acceleration that I don't. We can make up some speed mid-corner, but it's just not quite enough, ultimately. But... yeah, we're definitely fast here. Is it going to be... It might be turn 1 if we can get a good run. It's all going to depend. If we can get a good run out of here, it might be turn 1 that we make something happen. Or it's on the limit, and I don't know whether the 914 brushed the wall or not. It's not a good enough run. I think it's going to have to be the same move we pulled on the Monaro, basically. Unless we can carry so much speed we pass here, but I suspect the Super B is too quick on the exit of the corner. Indeed, it is going to stay ahead of us. Right, so same manoeuvre. Actually caught it in the wrong place here. Speed Beast is going to defend the inside, and there's nothing I can do, and I bet the 914 is going to get us. Although we can make this very wide. We've got 2 muscle cars for it to try and pass. Speed Beast is just parking it on the apex, which is perfectly legit to do. I've done it my fair share of times. We're going to just try to get across to cover the Porsche. Can't quite do it, although it's not going to be able to get down here. Don't think it's going to be able to carry the speed through the final corner. We can just fly through there. But yeah, the 914 is a little bit too quick. We had good speed. Whether we could have matched the Elan, I don't know. What's the lap times like? Yeah, we could have beaten the Elan. I mean, it was going to be, again, very, very close. Can't match the 914, though. Me and Longbow setting pretty much identical lap times again. Yeah, I mean, I like the... I like the Monaro. It's just not quite quick enough. Well, we are off to the Caldera scramble for our next race. Well, we have a nice spot on the grid, of course. We've got a nice spot on the grid. I mean, I guess it has put all the fast cars at the front. The Elan, the Porsche, and the two Monaros that have been the main force in this so far. The big tyres, it's really going to be a case of will the big tyres on the Monaro overcome the lightweight Porsche and better engine position Porsche. Essentially, that is going to be the battle. Well, okay, Porsche is going to go trundle its way down. We'll try and chase down the Elan here if we can. So we know the Elan's going to outrun us in a straight line. We are going to hopefully, and it is a big hopefully, out-corner it, which is, I appreciate, as I said in the first race, a bit of a weird one. But we should have stability in this, and we should have traction. That is a thing that you could already see the Elan is very much struggling through these corners. This is where we can throw the car back. We can simply just drive up the inside, and we are done in this. That's fine. We will have to be the street sweeper through the rocks on this first lap, which is a bit of a pain. Now the Elan is likely to be a little bit more nervous. It's going to be a bit more twitchy across these bumps. The Tirana is also coming with us. We're going to throw it into turn number 1, and that is all good for us. Climb up the hill, and we will be clear of the Elan. So it's not outrunning us towards these next couple of corners, which is good. We will try and get the front end. As I try to get the front end to behave, it is actually turning in very nicely on the dirt. I mean, this is just what the big tyres do for the vehicle. It helps it get change direction through here, and it gives it traction on the exit of the corners. And of course, straight line speed doesn't really matter at this circuit. I mean, you do get a little bit of a straight line. You do get a little bit of straight line down to turn 1, and you do need a bit of power to get up the hill. And those are the two bits where it does kind of matter. The Porsche has worked its way up to 5th. It may well work its way up a little bit more before the end of the race. It looked like something got in a bit of trouble back there. Didn't quite see what it was. We can kind of just mind our own business, and if the Elan makes it difficult for Longbow to get past, and then even more perfect for me, well, in terms of winning a race, Monaro has kind of been a drive around on your own sort of a car through no real fault of its own. It's just how things have gone. We will carry the speed through this next section. I mean, it is so very planted. Again, rear-wheel drive this. Doesn't feel like it. It's just stuck. It's just stuck to the road, and we can use the banking up there to help get the car turned. We will let the big battle go on back there. Longbow tried around the outside at turn 1, I think. Got a little bit too wide and ended up visiting the wall. The Porsche's up to 4th now. I think maybe the 914 is just a little bit faster. Again, the NUS perhaps even around here. This is probably the track where we will give it the closest run for its money anywhere, and we will see in the lap times, hopefully, that we are at least putting a decent showing, although we'll be slightly marred by the fact that everyone else has been fighting and we have been just hot lapping up here. El Pas's car, I'm going to guess, on some sort of road-based tyre compound. I'm pretty sure that was a Hemi Cuda, so it might have a lot of power, and that's just not working here. Longbow is clear now in 2nd, with Eccentric getting that Porsche into 3rd. But those big fights have given me a whole world of clean air as we head through these final couple. This is a very nice to drive car here. Really can't fault the Monaro at all. Very, very easy to drive in this. I mean, I guess it's to be expected. 300 horsepower through very big rear tyres is not too bad, even on dirt, really. The car's been planted through the races we've done so far and continues to be nicely glued to the road as we will head up to the finish line. Victory will go our way. It will be potentially a Monaro 1-2 as well. It looks like it is. The only real question now is the lap time. Did we beat the Porsche? I know it was in traffic a bit. We did. It is close. And so I think that's a bit of a traffic-affected lap time, potentially. But that is... Tell you what, I'm surprised how much quicker I am than Longbow. Again, maybe traffic-affected. Or that final lap, I think Longbow was in clean air. Maybe had to defend from the Porsche I didn't see. I'd be surprised at that difference. The cars are quite similar. But yeah, we got clear of the traffic that time, made the most of our opportunities, and we buggered off into the distance. The Monaro was very good there. For our final race, we head to possibly one of the most technical circuits in the game, and it is raining a little bit. Game really wants to put me at the back. Oh god, the Elan, the other Monaro, and the 914 are all at the front. We have not had much luck in the grid spots either this time out. I mean, we should be fairly good here. I suspect the 914 will be too fast for us. Unless the rain suddenly makes those cars horrible and awful to drive, which is possible, but yeah, I don't know. The Porsche's going for the drop back a little bit. The Elan and Monaro have shot off. I suspect the Porsche will get past. Whoop. I suspect it'll just out-drag us somewhere, although it could become quite a handful in the corners with it being wet. I mean, there's a chance that it's going to be a handful. Oh, we got a big slide through all of that one as well. Okay, the Elan leads the way. He's got a little bit of margin back to Longbow's Murano. We have got a good run on the GT70 here, but we're not quite going to be able to do much with it, I don't think. We are on the outside. Oh, it's found some street furniture that kind of slowed it down, and then I was able to sort of push it forward. The GT70 just simply cannot carry the corner speed that we can, and it's once again, as we find ourselves, we're stuck trying to get through traffic. The 914 is already up with us. It's not going to be close enough to have a look into turn number 1. We would try to see if there was going to be a way underneath the GT70 here, but not quite. Might be able to get it here. Again, this is a tough track to overtake at. The best of times, this is a difficult circuit to overtake on. And, yeah, we are looking for a way past. Here is going to be the spot, I think. We are to the inside. The move is completed. Longbow is struggling for traction in that car. Longbow hasn't got aero on the back of that. I wonder if that is maybe the difference between us. The one difference I can find between our two cars is that Longbow's is not running aero, and hasn't got a roll cage either. So there you go, there is some differences for you. Porsche is going to go to the inside. I couldn't get across to cover in time at all here. We might have the grip to be able to sweep around the outside here. We're going to try and keep the foot in it, because if we are, we'll be to the inside through here. We'll carry some speed, which we do. But unfortunately now we run into a wall of Holden, and the problem we've got is I can't make the most of my strengths. The Porsche is about to pass us because it can make the most of it, which is frustrating. The wall of Holden is causing issues for the Porsche, though. We're going to duck underneath. Oh, and the well, Porsche found out the hard way being on the outside of the big cars can have its problems as we sneak our way past the Tirana, and it is down towards turn 1 we go. A couple more laps of this mayhem to go. The 914 is not going to be liking the Australians in this. The Elan is relatively untroubled up at the front. Again, I might be able to match it if I wasn't in this sort of traffic. I don't know. Yeah, we've just got so much more composure through here than Longbow. I mean, you can just see visually the difference between our two cars is incredible. That's why we were so fast at the Caldera circuit, and we're going to get underneath Longbow through there. I've just got the traction that Longbow doesn't. It's astonishing how much grip I've got going on in this, because Longbow does have the acceleration that I don't, but that's not going to be enough here to fight back, and Longbow's going to have to try and defend from a 914 as we head into the final corner. The great Australian wall shall have to form if we're going to try and get two Monaros on the podium. Are we going to have to defend? I don't think Lombow's going to realistically be able to have a dive into this corner, because this is where we are strong. We can just carry quarter speed all the way through here. Porsche is a little bit ensnared, although I'm out of position. I ended up running in a little bit too deep through there. Although we could just make so much time through that section. It's down here as well. We can just turn the car in and carry speed, and we don't have to really deal with oversteer or anything like that. We are well clear of the squabbling horde behind as we head up the hill one final time. I think we may be a smidge quicker than the Elan, but stuck in the fights meant no chance to show it. A good, fun battle though. Definitely a fun race in that. It looks like Longbow might have just lost out on the run to the line. It is going to go the way of the 914. Did we do it that time? We did. I think the 914 was probably faster than that, but that too, of course, was stuck in the traffic. We got the lap time at the end because we had one clean lap and Eccentric didn't. I mean, it was a good fun battle. Actually, quite a lot of close lap times further back. It was a good battle. It was a good race. Outside of though the very twistiest of stuff, my Monaro was just not quite fast enough. Which I say kind of to be expected, maybe. But it was a very nice driving car. It's a very nice, very, very easy to drive car, which is. Sometimes what you need. Can be very consistent with it, at least. But there we go. That is going to be it for this video. If you would like to take part in the next one, you can sign up via our Discord. There'll be a link in the description. Find the versus the community section, as you can register to take part in there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.